Before we get to ChatGPT, I want you to listen to this Palestinian make some claims.
In fact, we are the birthplace of Christianity.
Right,
we are the original
but
Christians
and
the birthplace of many civilizations.
You're not lesser people to me.
When in fact, the people of Palestine have been the pillar of the region. When in fact, wherever they go, they build these countries. And you know the statistics. We come from a very ancient, very rooted society. Yes. You know that we are one of the most, if not the most educated. You started by saying, I was born in a refugee camp, and here I am.
I know.
I hold a PhD from your country here, from the University of London. I was teaching at Harvard University.
Okay, so we have a lot to unpack here. So let's get right into it. So one of the measures that can tell us how a particular people impact the world is, of course, the Nobel Prize. So first, let's check what is the percentage of Jewish people receiving the Nobel Prize. So, ChatGPT, let's see what it says. Well, according to ChatGPT, 22% of all the Nobel Prize winners are Jewish. And it is significant because Jewish people make up less than 0.2% of the world's population. Wow. Okay, so now we have something to compare it to. Let's check out now the Palestinians. So, to be fair, we're gonna ask the same question, just replace the word Jewish with Palestinian. So, let's see what ChatGPT will say. Okay, so we have one, a Nobel Prize won by Yasser Arafat, together with Yitzhak Rabin and Shimon Peres. For those who don't know who those people are, well, here's the event. You can hear who they are.
About 1,800 people were there to witness the historic event, the presentation of the 1994 Nobel Peace Prize to old enemies PLO leader Yasser Arafat and the Israeli Prime Minister and Foreign Minister.
Okay, so we have one Palestinian that has won the Nobel Peace Prize, despite the fact that this man in the beginning of the video, the ambassador of the Palestinians, was saying that they are a very ancient people, so, you know, they had a lot of time to do it, to impact the world and be recognized for it. So, despite that, there was just one person in history that identified as a Palestinian who received a Nobel Prize. And ironically, he received it with two Jewish guys. So, you know, it's like without the Jewish person, he would not receive that Nobel Prize. And Yasser Arafat was a very, very controversial person, which I will get to later in the video.
That we are one of the most, if not the most educated. You started.
Ooh, this seems like a crazy statement. The most educated people in the world? I mean, compared to Jewish people, the Palestinians don't look that good. I mean, Jewish people won 200 Nobel Prizes. Again, 20% of all the Nobel Prizes are won by Jewish people. Okay, but let's forget the Nobel Prize. Let's ask ChatGPT something we would be more familiar with. Okay, so let's ask ChatGPT what are some Jewish inventions that we use every day. So the first one that comes up is Google. Well, that's a big one. So Sergey Brin was the co-founder of Google and he is Jewish. Okay, but let's ask ChatGPT to give us some more. So USB flash drive, pacemaker, stainless steel, polio vaccine. Again, big ones. And now let's ask the same question, just replace the word Jewish with Palestinian. And we'll see what ChatGPT says. Okay, we have one. Hummus. Hummus. I mean, this is crazy. You compare, vaccines to hummus. And, a lot of Arabs would be offended by that, that Palestinians invented hummus because it's eaten all over the Middle East. So that's that's a good one, ChatGPT. Okay, let's get to another one that was crazy that the man said.
In fact, we are the birthplace of Christianity.
Right.
We are the original
But
Christians
Ambassador, to be
and
clear,
the birthplace of
you're-
many
you're not-
civilizations.
you're not
Okay, that's another bold claim. Let's check what ChatGPT says about that, shall we? And we're gonna ask a pretty simple question. Was Jesus Jewish or Palestinian? Let's see what ChatGPT says. Okay, Jesus was Jewish, born into a Jewish family in the region of Judea, and practiced Judaism. And we have something interesting here. The term Palestinian as a national identifier came into use long after the time of Jesus, primarily in the 20th century. During Jesus' lifetime, the area was part of the Roman Empire and was known as Judea. Wait a minute. Should it not be called Palestine since it was forever there? Okay, so the term Palestinian developed in the 20th century. How about Israel? What is the earliest mention of Israel? So let's see what ChatGPT says. Okay, it says that the earliest mention outside of the Bible is the Merneptah Stele, and that's 1209 BCE. Okay, so that's very, very old. And guys, there are many other artifacts that are mentioning the nation and the country of Israel by name. If you are really interested in this, let me know in the comments and I will do a special episode where we will discuss those ancient sources that mention Israel by name. For now, I am listing a list of those very ancient artifacts that are mentioning Israel in the description of this video. Okay, so far out of this very short piece of the whole interview, ChatGPT has shown us that all the claims of this man are false. Well, there is one more that we didn't really discuss, so let's just discuss it.
When in fact, wherever they go, they build these countries.
I have no idea what countries is he speaking about. Is he talking about Lebanon? In 2011, the estimate said that 200 to 400 Palestinians live in Lebanon. And I don't see how Palestinians build up that country. I mean, south of Lebanon was taken over by the Hezbollah, who is destroying the country. Have you seen how Lebanon looks? I mean, there are only 2 hours during the day that people have power in their homes. Their currency is destroyed and the country is so corrupt that all the money goes to the elites. Okay, but maybe he was talking about Syria. So in Syria, there are over 500,000 Palestinians living. Now, with Syria, do I need to talk anymore? Haven't we seen what happened to Syria in recent days? The constant war, disruption, division. It's just a broken country. And what came out of Syria and was exported all over the world recently was terrorism. I mean, ISIS, this originated in Syria. And guess what? Israel had nothing to do with the destruction in Syria. So, another country that doesn't look like it was very much built up by the Palestinian people that moved there. Okay, but maybe he meant Jordan. After all, outside of Israel, this is the biggest population of Palestinians. 2.2 million Palestinians live in Jordan. Now, in Jordan, Yasser Arafat, so the hero of the Palestinians, the same one that received the Peace Nobel Prize, so this Arafat led a military campaign against the king of Jordan, King Husseini, and tried to overthrow him. And he almost succeeded. The whole event is called Black September, when the Palestinians wanted to overthrow the Jordanians that took them in. It's quite a fascinating story, so check it out. So the contribution of the Palestinians to Jordan wasn't something that would be welcomed in any country. Okay, so we got one more, which is Egypt. Let's see what's the story with Egypt. So Egypt has the smallest amount of Palestinians in their country, despite the fact that they are bordering Gaza, and despite the fact that Arafat himself was born in Cairo. But Egypt from the very beginning was against taking in Palestinians, and this is their policy up to today. Maybe it is because they saw what happened to other countries in the region who let in Palestinians. Maybe. What is also interesting is that after 48, the War of Independence, Egypt took control of Gaza with the Palestinians inside. So, in all of those countries we mentioned, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Egypt, we have Palestinians living, and most of them are living in refugee camps. And refugee camps are not very good economically. You have to feed people, take care of them, and they do not contribute to the society. This is the state of the Palestinians that live in those countries. So it's actually the opposite. They are not contributing to those countries. They are not lifting them up. They are a burden on those countries.
When in fact, wherever they go, they build these countries.
Well, just saying it doesn't make it real, does it? They do not build up the countries. They are a burden and they cause problems, huge problems sometimes. Now, I would like to compare that to the Jewish people that also are refugees from Arab countries. Here you can see a map showing you how many Jewish people lived in Arab countries before 1948 and after 1972. So the number of Jewish people living in Arab countries was reduced to almost zero in some countries. And it's not like the Jewish people were asked to leave. They were forced to leave. They had to leave their homes, their wealth, their life. They had to leave. They didn't have a choice. They were persecuted, they were forced, and many of them went to Israel. And in Israel, they were not treated as refugees. They were treated as brothers. They were taken in and offered a life. They did not live in refugee camps in Israel. It was unthinkable. Whenever a Jewish person returns to Israel, it's a holiday. He's making an aliyah. He's returning home, and that is how he is treated. So, Mr. Palestinian, according to ChatGPT, and really history, if you really do the research, everything you said was false. So why should we believe you in anything? Well, we simply can't and will not. Thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I will leave a link to the whole interview with this man in the description of this video, so make sure you check it out if you haven't seen it. And, share this video because it's important that people know the truth. And lies should be pointed out. We can't allow lies to surface and poison the minds of people. So it's very important to share things like that. Thank you so much for all your support. I am especially thankful to all the Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, guys. It's amazing that you're doing this. If you think that my content is valuable, please consider supporting me and my channel. It's a great help for me and my life. So if you want to do it, I will be greatly appreciative of that. Also, if you would like to be informed about my activity, what I do, what I'm working on, make sure to check out my social channels. You see the links to all of them now on screen, and I will put them also in the description of this video. Have a great day. Shalom.